Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, it's Andy Asimakis. How are you doing, buddy?
Steve, I feel like I am looking at and talking to all of my cousins from Greece at the same time, even the female ones.
All of your cousins, every one of them. Well, folks, this is going to be the biggest challenge of my hosting career.
I have so much faith in you.
And it's not really. Listen, we got ourselves a guest that's in Greece. Okay, so just keep me in your prayers today. All right. Joining us this week is Sotiris Gyftopoulos.
Okay, not bad. Not bad at all.
All right. Yeah. I've heard much worse.
Okay.
We'll take it.
I mean, it looks like Gyftopoulos, so I'm going, or Gyftopoulos. I could go with that one too. I could
Actually, I am not sure which one is more correct in the accent, you know.
Sotiris. I don't know. Andy keeps saying it, and I keep trying to write it down and phonetically, and it's not working. Creator of RPG stories, an online 3D world builder, and a virtual tabletop that provides you with all the necessary tools to bring your tabletop RPG quests to life. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time to give us the opportunity for the exposition. Exciting stuff.
So give everybody some backstory here that don't know what. Well, hang on. I'm gonna start us off here because I kickstarted this program. Like that's kind of where I was introduced to it because I had all of the virtual tabletops that I'm used to are very 2D flat plane.
Yes.
And I saw this and I decided I need to back it. So why don't you tell everybody exactly what is a virtual tabletop, and how does RPG stories make it differentiate itself in the market?
Okay. Sorry. So RPG Stories is, like you said, like a virtual tabletop. Basically, we try to take the traditional tabletop games and give it another spin to, by using the digital means, let's say. So you can start with some basic stuff. There already some software there that, you can just make a board, put some tokens on it and, start playing around with it. But since we are talking about the most, we're targeting RPG, the genre of RPG games, right? So these genres usually have like a very, they have a very specific vision in mind that, they need to describe a lot of things and visualize a lot of the things that the mind needs to see. So we want to take this, like you said, most of the tabletop games, the virtual tabletop products that exist out there are like 2D. So we wanted to give it another layer to it. There are some applications that do this, but we wanted to make something that has a little bit more of a kit bash feel to it. Like kit bashing is like when you take a lot of stuff and combine it and make something new.
Yeah.
And make it sort of in between of like making it simple enough so a user that's not like a 3D engineer or designer can make something quick. So even like a basic map that's you go in there and it's like a church and you put a few things and you have something ready to go, but also has the ability for the people that are want to really fine tune what they're doing, what they want to make, and the details all have to be correct to have that ability also. And that's how we started. That's how we started making some experiments. We thought we saw that we could make something, and now yes, like we went with a Kickstarter. It went really well. Thank you for backing us up and giving us the opportunity to do this. And I think this is what we're reaching to, like a tool that you can make interesting looking environments, and that you will be able to play your favorite RPG stories. This is now, it just goes like this: your favorite RPGs into it. Kind of thing.
I think the thing that really set it apart for me was, and Andy, this is something that will kind of spark your interest here. So I mean, I'm a D&D player. Andy is not, but
okay,
I'm getting there.
But the thing,
I'm slowly coming around to the idea. Slowly.
The thing that interested me in this is that you almost take this Sims approach to your drag and drop and your building of the world, and like that's incredibly intuitive to me. Having just all these tools and being able to drag and drop, to make the size of whatever you want to make, and then of course, one of the big things in virtual tabletops is sizing matters, scale matters. So you also have these built-in grids that you could turn on and turn off, so you could understand the scale of your world. And you can, and the way it's kind of set up is as a DM, because I also DM a little bit, and I was kind of like building my little world that I've been imagining. Everything's in scenes, so it's very intuitive to just click between the scenes and have your party live in that world, and they get to maneuver in the world in a 3D space instead of just either an isometric or a top-down view. They get to actually experience it as if it's a 3D video game, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea, and all of this was from Agis, our CEO. He was the one who was like a DM for years, and it's like sort of like basically said, I want something that doesn't exist, and I'm going to go for it. And to be 100% honest, I wasn't in. I haven't played a lot of D&D myself. Like I knew about it, but you have to find a DM master and get DM guy to bring you in. So, but I love building, like survival games, like No Man's Sky, Valheim, and all of these things that go and build something and has a functionality. So, what you just said that like it's D&D but has a little bit of a gaming vibe to it was basically me and Iggy's coming together, and like my vision and his vision coming together. And like I wanted the scenes to look cool with a nice sky and fog and stuff like that. And I'm not done yet. I want to add much more, but we have other things in the pipeline. It's much more important. So that's how we both started, and that's how I got pulled into actually getting specific T-shirts and stuff like that. Getting into this because it's cool. It's if you find the right DM, because he will make the game you would like to play, and that's really can lift off your session.
I could give an example of like just a way to use your tools that are completely different. So the world that I was creating was kind of like it's almost like a futuristic fantasy. So it was, if magic kind of kept going and would be in, like, what would happen? Obviously, in my world, it would be a dystopian hellscape because the corporations would be trying to mine whatever arcane resources they can. So, it would be like that. So there's a scene,
I like it.
There's a scene that I created that was it was rooftops, and it had the party leaping from rooftops to rooftops of massive skyscrapers. And there's no massive skyscrapers, like it's not something like that. So what I did was I found in the modern or the sci-fi sort of toolkit, I found like little like trash cans and like futuristic looking trash cans or futuristic little like batteries, and I just made them massive, turned them around and made them look like buildings, and I just hodgepodged this whole city scape, and I was like, damn, that took me like 2 hours. That was it. My scene was
that's
done.
My favorite thing. Seeing people being so creative, like taking something, making it huge, applying a bunch of other, like things onto it. It's basically like VFX artists back in the day, like 70s and 80s. Like we have to build a set in 1 hour, like Star Trek or something like that, and just take everything and make, This is how it feels sometimes. And one of the greatest things about this is like we have workshop support finally. Like we added it like a few months back.
It is the best. The workshop is sent from heaven. Andy, the workshop is what people create. They could upload into the workshop and you could download it. And most people, nay, all people are way more creative than I can be. And it's amazing.
Accurate statement.
Amazing what they're able to put in there. I'm like, you have an entire hospital bay. Great. I'm going to download that, and that's going to be my hospital.
And I'm going to add a lamp in the corner.
Yes, I'm going to add
now it's mine.
IVs in the corner.
I would fuck with this. This is interesting. Look, I'm looking at the video right now, and I'm mesmerized by the amount of details you can add to a scene. It's just, I would just build shit all day long.
I think that's
for no purpose. I would just build shit.
It's like in No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has this issue. It's awesome to build bases, but they have no purpose. So instead of doing it there, you can do it in RPG stories, and the purpose would be that someone can use it for his story that's going to play afterwards. So, like that's awesome on its own. And another good thing with the workshop stuff is like someone has made something completely crazy. You just think about it. You just get the model in there, just break it apart and see what has he done. And some people do really impressive stuff like that. Have you anyway, there's a lot of examples out there. It's like this snail that has rocks and a whole house above.
Yeah.
That's when you see like
there was a giant turtle thing. There's a giant kraken that
I made the turtle thing, but you can see the difference between an artist and and a normal guy. I just put some buildings there. He's put so many bushes that run down. There's a whole narrative with the details that he's added, kind of thing.
There was one of the things I was trying to do is I was trying to make a forest. I mean, a simple thing, right? And you have the ability to like just paint, and you could like just drag, and like all these trees will pop up. But I was like, I want this to be a dense forest. So I go in the workshop, and it's like modular forest model. I'm like, oh, and it's just like one click, and I put down like 500 trees. I'm like, this is freaking dope. Like, people just it's great. But it is as intuitive as a Sims game, and I think that is something that is a good selling point. Now, I will admit I haven't gotten into any of the actual tabletop game running aspects of anything. Like I know that you're slowly rolling out features and stuff like that. Like in the video that we're watching, you'll see die rolling. You do have a quest log where you can actually write quest dialogue and stuff for your players to find. Explain a little bit about getting into actually running a game and what your aspirations are.
Well, first of all, like the main thing that I'm working now, that's why I think the updates, basically we do 2-week sprints, and every 2 sprints we do an update. It could be something small to some fixes, but regularly we upload content because we have a specific team for this. I've made all the tools so they can keep adding stuff all the time. So that's, at the moment, I am fully focusing on making it, multiplayer, basically. And so that's why a lot of people haven't dove into this, because otherwise, you kind of like have to do a screen share and stuff like that, which can be a lot of fun. You just screen share your thing and, just move things around. So yeah, that's the thing that we're working on. It's a huge challenge, a lot of unpredictable things in the way. But hopefully, I don't know. I cannot say dates, because of the predictable, Murphy's laws and stuff like that.
We're not expecting you to tell us a date.
But but one of the things that Agis brought into the table is like how you run this as a DM and how can this be a useful tool for me and stuff like that. So one of the main things is that you can have like a journal. So it has like tabs and an input editor. So you can put every environment has this thing which you can put more details about it, and maybe whatever you need as a DM to quickly access these things, and sort of like not having the application there and then having notes in your table and stuff. It's hopefully make it all self-contained. And then you have the ability to add the notes in the scene. So like, if you have like a door, you want to remember something about the door, you have an item, you put it there, and this item won't be visible to the players that's going to join your game later. So they will not be aware of this. And hopefully as we progress and we finish the multiplayer stuff, we want to add the ability to add notes to kind of like everything. You select an item and put something there. Instead of having like a one feather note, add extra things that maybe even the players can find and stuff like that. So we're trying to add the little details there that will make it a little bit more interesting. Another thing that I'm trying to do at the moment, which seems it's why the whole network thing is a bit of a challenge, is to give the ability to the DM to continue building while you're playing the story. And that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because if you need to improvise, like if the players do something you're not prepared for, sometimes you need to do something a little silly. And
yeah, I mean, we were doing some playtests just by simple screen sharing before we're just testing it out, seeing what the user wants to do. And I think especially the DMs that are so used to the tool and they're doing stuff and they're fixing, it almost comes natural to them just going, okay, I'm going to add this. And we had this specific moment with one of our community moderators. He ran a game for us, Mr. Bear, as we call him. And he had this
specific name, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Bear. Okay. You will have to find a new one if you come to our Discord. But he had this specific scene that we were like in a death valley or something like that. We met this ghost witch something, and she was like, "Oh, you gotta help me find my sister." He has an amazing voice as well. It was very chilling. And we're like, you know what? We're not gonna. I don't think we would like to do that. And then it's like, oh, okay, I see that sound. And then there was a bunch of mists around, and then he started adding mists around us slowly, and we're like, oh, no, it's okay, it's okay. We were, this visual feedback that I think started coming of the background. We were like, oh, okay. That was like, okay, this needs to be a thing. And because imagine the possibilities, like having, okay, and then huge rocks came out of the ground, and just picking an object, dragging it out, and then this would be animated to the other side of the user. That's something
right
that I know it needs to happen. I don't know, I have found the ways to do it, but it's like optimization and not data, which is kind of complicated.
One of the things that I'm using, one of the ways that I'm using it right now, and you have a full camera suite as well. And what I did was, because I do use other VTTs, the DM that I play for, he uses Foundry. I'm using Roll20, and I just go top-down view of the maps I make. I make sure that the grid is lined up, whatever, turn off the grid, take a picture of it. Drag that into another VTT, and you could have this whole world that you designed built in that 2D. For now, that's kind of like how I'm using it. Until
so a lot of people doing that, and it's exciting that they do this. I mean, the whole idea about RPG stories, and hopefully the ethos that's behind it's like about how you want to do your session. We want to give you the tools to make your best stories. If you want to use another tool, that's we will improve that in the future. Hopefully, we'll be able to add, because some of the software have like import-export tools and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be able to provide what you're exporting with more information so you can import it. Like, it's one of the things we want to do. It's just a matter of time kind of thing. Using it for other applications, that's super fine. Like, I'm hoping that people would not use it only for playing, but to generate content. Like maybe it's like a dramatic scene, and putting the camera with a lot of folk, blah blah blah. Or I see a lot of streamers, they have like a nice intro. If when we progress with the VTT and give more life to things, and they look a little bit, because now it's just like, a scenery of leaves, maybe have some characters running around, stuff like that. It could be good to export these things and use it as media, like any type of production.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna buy this shit right now. You have no idea, because it says it supports modern horror. What the hell does that mean? What is that?
So the main things, we wanted to, like you said, your futuristic idea, I like this. I'm more of a sci-fi guy. Ais is more of a fantasy guy. Chrisa, which our producer as well, is more of a modern era person. So we want to provide assets from all of these themes, eras, genres, whatever you want to call them. So you can make the fantasy stuff. That's where the more users are at. We can see that we do polls every week of what people would like to add in the application in the future, and all the fantasy people are like there waiting for the fantasy pack. But we also have a sci-fi and modern, and we will populate more assets into that. So you can build a modern suburban city. We have some post-apocalyptic assets to make a little bit more, like Last of Us.
Yes.
This kind of era stuff.
So neat.
And we're a little bit behind on the sci-fi era, but I'm going to use my internal, I'm going to pull some strings in the team to make that happen, because we need some more sci-fi. We have like a lot of things like that, like cyberpunk cities. There's this awesome kit that's going to be allowing you to make spaceships. I call it the Astropack, but no one's voting for it. I'm just going to have to do it myself in my free time. just fix it, because I want to make spaceships. I love making spaceships. And it's funny how like we have a bunch of containers and some frames and stuff like that. And people just go make spaceships out of that stuff. And they work.
I think you got a DeLorean looking thing in there that I downloaded from the workshop, and that was like all fitted up with like rockets and all this crazy stuff. I threw that in my game. I was like, that's dope. You got mechs, you got full mech.
Now we have mechs and stuff.
I mean, you got a lot of stuff. And
And
every time I open it up, I'm like, I could use this in a completely different way that makes no sense. And I'm like, it's dope. You also play with lighting a lot. You have a lot of lighting options that you can mess around with. And obviously that's going to be a lot more useful when you're actually running a game, because you want your players not to be able to see certain things and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a kind of it's a bit of a challenge, the lights, because lights are awesome, but they have like a huge cost into the GPU. And we're using Unity, not Unreal. Unreal is much more like, you can do a lot of stuff. But we're using Unity, and we're using the new stuff that we're releasing, and we're going to update at some point. That's going to be able to support more lights and have more dynamic features and stuff. So it's a matter of time we're going to be able to get around that, doing an extra pass on making the lights a little bit more, satisfying and stuff. But yeah, lights going to be awesome. And one of the other things that we have at the moment is like fog of war tools that, you can just like hide an area which looks, you can barely see through it. And then, the DM would be able to just go like delete that and then, open up a new area. You walk out. And also on top of that, we're going to add features like line of sight, which is so important for, the very specific DMs will go crazy in the mathematical trigonometry calculations of what one person can see, what another person cannot see. So that's something also that we're going to add in the future. But yeah, only good time basically, because basically at the moment I'm the only developer on it, so it's a little bit of a challenge to add all these things in there.
Well,
what's the
Andy?
when do you find time to play, Steven? I feel like this is like the amount of prep work into like setting up a campaign, and if this is a tool that is a part of that process, how do you even? Is this why it takes 6 months to like plan a session?
So
like we're doing a thing. We're ready in 5 months from now.
It's all. Well, the reason why the thing that you were going to be a part of was weird is because we were wrapping up a campaign that we had been playing for over a year. So like that needed to finish before we started the next thing.
Good Lord, a year.
Yeah, we've been playing. Our campaign lasted over a year.
Is that what I should expect, commitment wise? A year of my life to this?
It depends.
This next campaign, we have been told that this can be a 2-year campaign.
Wow,
because we're starting from one. So
there's people I'll be playing, the same characters for like half a century or something like that. You know,
that's like
they started the game
crazy.
and still continuing the thing. It's actually it's one of these things that's so impressive about D&D. Like a table of 5 people, and then the DM will have sit down there and created so much content and quality content for a table session for other people. TV shows don't put so much effort into some of the stuff they do.
Yeah.
It's insane. The passion behind it, it's remarkable. But yeah, it's funny because you can do sessions like that, which is like years and years into making and developing, or you can do those things called one shots, which basically is like a 2-3 hour thing.
I'm familiar with this term. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. We're also playing around with the idea of doing shorter 12 episode seasons where everything's got it's a contained little arc. But it takes more for a DM to create multiples of those. If you have a group that meets every day or every week on the same day, then you could just play a longer, more interesting story and just kind of explore the characters and explore the development of it all. And that's what's so cool about programs like this is like there are map builders, right? Like there's Incarnate where you can make like world maps.
Really good.
And it's a really cool thing, but it's another thing that you need a subscription to. Your virtual tabletops, you need a subscription to. Like there's all these things. If you want your books, if you want like special or game content, you need to buy the digital versions in that virtual tabletop for that content. And so everything kind of winds up being pretty expensive from from a game or a dungeon master perspective. And the thing that drew me to RPG stories also is that it has multiple utilities. Like I can use this in things that I'm already using, and I don't have to rely on other artists to make map tiles for me to drag into my game. If I think of something and I want something, it's very specific, I could go into this and drag and drop for like 20 minutes and make a really cool 3D version of what I was doing, turn it up, take the picture, drag it into, my tabletop, and I'm good, and I'm good to go. And I can't wait. Like I am so excited for when people can join my world in 3D and just move around the space. Even if like you can't roll in the game or keep track of your character sheets in the game. Like that is like secondary to me. It just being able to like see the world in that 3D space is an incredibly enticing aspect of the whole program.
It would give everything so much more purpose. That thing I was saying, like designing something and then having, showing it to your friends. Come on, let's explore this little world. We did that. That's so exciting. I mean, this is the next big milestone for us. Giving meaning to all of this, basically. And then slowly, but we'll progress towards the point that we'll be able to add even more and more things. And like you said, the character sheets. And then, hopefully one day we'll be able to do maps and stuff, to a point, maps is a whole nother science kind of thing. But like I said, the community aspect of this is what's really cool about it, because, some people that make whole big maps, like you just take them and bring them in. So, if you're doing a campaign and, like you said, going there to buy some content and going somewhere else to find content, hopefully the community within will be able to supply what you need. And this is already happening, And we're trying to find collaborations with people that make stories, because it's really one of the things you can do by making a big campaign is like, these people that write books, like it's a huge community out there making content. And, you can buy these books that, if you're making a campaign, you can just, pick things that you want to add to it, and it's like, like I want to make something for as well, when I want to use Agis's. He has a thing called Treasure, The Secrets of Avagada, which is his own little, deserty Sahara exploration thing. So, I just want to pull some things from his world to bring it to my world kind of thing. And this is where I think all of this will come together. And we try to make affiliate programs so that, if someone is making a new Kickstarter to get funded to make a new story, he will be able to, we contact the people and try to make them, they will also supply these files in RPG stories. And there's a couple of collaborations that have occurred from that. So, and, we are making stuff. So hopefully in a bit of time, there will be a huge library of things that you can use already, and, just mix and match, bring things here and there, hopefully, not hopefully, these things will be filled up with the content you need straight into there to help, what you're doing. And, the process of making a huge campaign won't be such a, you will bring quality to it without being such a huge ordeal, basically.
Before we log off here for this episode, I'm sorry, folks. It's a shorter episode. We have a hard out here on our end, and I had a ton of technical issues before we started, so I do apologize. But I do want to give a shout out to the community, the Discord community, and the community in general, because it is the most welcoming and kind and helpful Discord community I have ever been in. Like, period.
It's amazing.
I have never, like, there are some communities where you ask a question and they're like, this has been answered, check the thing, check the
FAQs, man,
like I'd be like, I popped in Noob. And I was instantly overwhelmed by how many people are in the community, but I just asked a simple question and I was like, I got like 3 people talking to me how they did it, and like, oh, you could do this, walk through this, like exactly my scenario. There was a bunch of people that knew exactly what to do, and then getting you on the show was through that as well. It was like, I'd love to. Here's what I do. I do these interviews. I would love to have somebody on the team come in and chat and like dope. Let's do it. And I'm like, cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. So what you said there, just first of all, I'm going to give credits to Agis and Chrisa. I don't know how they did it, because I was in the background going, making the application. They were staying up for days and days, and they managed to not only create a community that funded us, but also create the Discord people, the Discord channel, which is so welcoming. When I describe some technical stuff, people are like, no idea what you're talking about. This is how I feel about what they've done with our community, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then we have to give shout out to, some community members that have like, I don't know what we would do without them, basically. It's like Mr. Bear, like I said before, and Lucky Nubra, it's like they are always there ready to fly, give tips and help and moderate and stuff like that. And they do it out of the kindness of the heart, which is amazing. Their work is invaluable, and they help test the application as well.
Yeah.
So huge thanks to those guys. So then we have other members like Hobgoblin, Butler.
Hobgoblin,
you are a little bit active as well.
Yeah, I've been active in there. Yeah. Hobgoblin and I go back and forth quite a bit.
Hobgoblin is another crazy member. It's like, oh, you want to fix this? Give me a few minutes, and he goes and fixes. He recently posted some lava flow things that someone needed. Here's the Discord link, the workshop links. Here you go, get them, and then it's just amazing. I wish I could be more active into the community. Lately, I've dived into the black hole of making the network thing.
Make the thing.
You gotta make
the thing and let the other go.
Make the good thing gooder. That's your job.
Make the thing work. We'll take care of the community. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. But
this is a good opportunity for them to get to know you a little bit as well. Get to see you speak and speak to the game. So hopefully the community likes this interview. Folks, if you like what you were listening to or viewing, please subscribe to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. And of course, you can get this podcast anywhere you find podcasts. So just tell your friends and type in the Dual Screens podcast. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at dual_screens. You go to dualscreens.com for all your Dual Screens needs. I'm BatChild27 on Twitter, and Andy is at PantsGuy. Now, where can everybody follow RPG Stories? Where can everybody buy RPG Stories?
All right. So we currently have an early access in Steam for the application if you want to get it. We have a Twitter page, which I don't remember out of heart. RPG Stories, I think it is. I'm sorry.
We'll give all the links.
Social media stuff, but you find the links under it. Yeah. But the best thing I think you could do is come to our Discord and join us there, because it's like you said, a lovely community, and that's, if you want to find me, that's the best place to find me. I'm logged in all day almost, so if you need anything, how can I do this and that, I'll try to get back to you. Awesome. And then finally, thanks to you guys for taking your Saturday time to present our ideas and our project.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to fuck with this. You have no idea.
It's a lot of fun. I mean,
I'm
can't
so
wait to see what you're gonna do.
It's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
To see how quickly you could throw something together. It really is.
Yeah.
Very.
That's going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Why did I just lose my? Did you say your name? Sorry.
Sotiris.
Sorry.
Just call me Zotto. Zotto is quick and easy.
My cameras got all messed up just now. There we go. Back to normal. Thank you so much. And thank you to our Patreon producer, Colton the Apprentice Nestler. We can't continue to grow without all your support. Let's go to patreon.com/dualscreens. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. And as always, please be excellent.